Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on and share an incredible story with you of hope, courage and inspiration. And the story revolves around a young guy by the name of James. And he's 27 years old, this young guy. And he first contacted me by phone and we had a few conversations by phone. And I asked him to share with me what it was he was dealing with and basically why was he getting in touch with me, what was it he needed. And he told me that he'd been into heavy drugs and 2 years ago he had got himself onto a program and got off the drugs. And the first question I always ask anybody is about their childhood. What was their childhood like? And he said to me, over the phone, he said to me, no, I had a good childhood, you know, it was good. My mum and dad are still together. Yeah. And I said, okay. And the reason he got in touch was because he got off the drugs, but he was having some spiritual experiences when he went to bed at night. And knowing that he was off drugs, I knew it wasn't because of the drugs, but I knew something else was at play. Now, what I know about prior drug use is that if the body knows an escape route from pain, it'll go back to the previous experience of when they were stoned or whatever, or speeding or tripping or whatever. So I asked him when these experiences happened, and he said usually when he was in pain about something. And at this present time, it was to do with his girlfriend. He and his girlfriend had recently separated. So I encouraged him to book a session with me, and he was keen to do so. And he came to see me yesterday. And when we got talking, age 8 came up for me. I could see him as a young boy of 8. And I asked him what happened, and he told me that his auntie was murdered when he was 8 years old. So that was his mother's sister. And I asked if he was close to his auntie, and he said, well, yeah, he was. But of course, that's a long time ago for a 27-year-old. And he had no connection between the fact that his auntie was murdered and what he was currently dealing with, which was acute anxiety. So anyway, we went into the journey process. And what we found out was that as an 8-year-old child, he had so much pain around him due to the death of his auntie that being a sensitive child and a spiritual child, which I know we all are, but he's a very sensitive child. He took on the pain of his mother. He took on the pain of his grandmother, so the mother of his auntie, and his grandfather. And they took into their home one of the children of his aunties, and that child must have been carrying incredible pain, and he also took on that child's pain. And it was in his entire body. When we met with his 8-year-old self at the fireplace, at the fire, he was holding so much dark energy. It was actually like a vibrationary force field around his body. And so what he needed to do was just have the understanding that the energy he was holding in his body, this anxiety, that he didn't understand, that no one gave him any understanding of as an 8-year-old, or any compassion, because of course everyone was in so much pain around him that they certainly didn't have any energy or time for him. So when he got clear that it wasn't his pain, he was able to release it. Anyway, long story short is that I got a message from him last night, and he said to me, Janet, I feel so free. I feel like my whole life's ahead of me. And in fact, when he sat up off the healing table, he said to me, I feel like I've been reborn. He said, I know that sounds crazy. And I said, no, that's about right, because you have been reborn. You've called that part of yourself back that was in so much pain. And when I called him today to find out if it was okay to share his story, he was incredibly light and happy and excited about his path forward, an excitement that he hasn't felt since he was 8 years old. So I just wanted to share that with you. There's always a reason that we turn to drugs or that we go off the rails, and we might think that these things that happen in childhood are insignificant. And I know that the loss of your auntie to murder is very, very significant and painful, but there can be the smallest things that that you are still carrying years later that are causing you anxiety, and you don't even realize what they are. So yeah, anyway, I wanted to share that with you in case it resonated with anyone that you know, anyone that you love. Yeah, you know where to find me. Okay, take care.